I'm gonna strip for you while I'm doing this, okay?
You heard the man. Amir's if we had some dollars, we'd throw it at you. Amir Hardcore Mansour, we're a couple weeks away. October 13th at Shelton, Washington, taking on Gerald Washington on FS1. How's everything going? We're a little less than 2 weeks out.
Everything's good, man. You know, training hard, doing what I do. You know, being prepared, man. Preparation is the key, you dig?
Chance to make a statement now. Another statement on national television against a guy, Washington, undefeated guy. What are your thoughts on that?
I just want to commend the guy for taking the fight. You know what I'm saying? For him to be at the point he is in his career and accepts a fight with a guy like me, you know, that shows a lot of heart to me. You know what I mean? Because there's so many of these heavyweights out there today who are supposed to be better than Gerald Washington, you know, and they fear getting in the ring with Amir Mansour. So I take my hats off to the guy for taking this fight.
Obviously, you're a very confident guy coming into this fight to begin with. But you saw the other night, Brazil, who was an Olympian, was pushed to the limit. Most people thought the guy Kasi, who you literally put to sleep, you know, should have gotten the W against him.
Yeah.
Does that give you any more confidence knowing that these undefeated guys, you know, Washington, Brazil, they kind of been brought up side by side, and a guy who you dominated and put to sleep, you know, probably should have won the fight against him?
No, it doesn't give me any more or less confidence. I mean, styles make fights, man. You know what I'm saying? So that doesn't give me any type of gauge as to, you know, what I can do. Cassie is a good fighter, man, and I've been telling people like that all along. The way that I dominated him, people misjudged him. You understand what I'm saying? Thinking that he's not really a good fighter because he got dominated by me the way he did. But I'm just that good. You know, I'm really just that good, and I think that Cassie's last two fights showed what type of fighter I am, to have been able to go in there and dominate him for 7 rounds and take him right out. But having said that, it's a sad thing, man, because, you know, I'm training just as hard as Gerald is. Gerald's training just as hard as I am. And then we go into a fight, and the judges aren't considering any of that. You know, Cassie trained just as hard as that kid did, man. And to put so much into your craft and put so much into your job, and then you go and get a decision like that, man, it's just really sad. You know what I'm saying? It's really, really sad to me, you know.
You're fighting a guy who's, you know, about 6'6". About a year or so ago, a little bit, almost 2 years ago, you had a great win over a guy 6'7", 6'8", Kelvin Price. How much did that fight prepare you for this, or is it just a totally different fight?
I actually think Calvin Price has a better skill set than Gerald. I think he's faster than Gerald. It's really no preparation, man. I mean, I've been fighting bigger guys, you know, my entire career, really all my life. You know, I'm not intimidated by a guy's height. You know what I'm saying? I'm 6'1½". You know what I mean? And I could, as long as I could reach your jaw, as long as I could reach your head, I'm cool. I fought a guy 7'1" at the Blue Horizon years ago. You know what I'm saying? And after 1 round, he came back out in the 2nd round my height. I know how to take that height away from a guy.
I mean, without giving too much away, you think that's basically what it is once you kind of get him down the size, the fight's yours?
The fight's mine from the beginning to the end. You know, I don't even have to get this guy down to size. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's not a monster. He's not that big. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's tall, but you know, if you're coming into a fight against me and your only advantage is that you're taller than me, that's not an advantage at all. You're going to have a very, very good skill set. You're going to have power. You're going to have a lot more than that to beat me than just being taller than me.
The heavyweight division's kind of getting weeded out a little bit the last few weeks. And guys like who were in line to get title shots, guys like Ariola, kind of, you know, because of the draw with Cassie, maybe he's kind of pushed to the side a little bit. You know, I guess they're looking for, you know, someone who has looked good on television, who's looked explosive on television. You feel with a win and a very impressive win, you're that guy?
You know what, man? I don't know, man. I mean, they just keep ducking me, man. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I don't even feel like this guy Gerald is in my league. I don't even feel like, you know, these are the fights that I should be having. I should be fighting more notable, more respected heavyweights, you know, in this division. You know, but like I said, you know, whoever they put in front of me, line them up, I'm gonna do what I do, man. You know what I mean? But I will say this. This is the last time I'm fighting an unranked guy or fighting a guy that's not in my class, that I feel as though is not in my class. This is the last time. If they come back and offer me a fight against, you know, somebody that's not going to get me to the world title, that's not going to get me a championship fight, I'm not taking it.
Obviously, we just mentioned, you know, Cassie has looked good since he's fought you. Joey DeWaco Kim comes back with a 70-second knockout. You know, so even since you haven't fought since May, your stock is pretty much going up by some of the guys that you fought and the things that they've done.
You know, I mean, yeah, you know what I mean? And like I said, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know what it is except the fact that a lot of these guys, they get calls, hey, you want to fight Amir Mansour, da-da-da, and the answer is no. My name came up for Chris Arreola instead of Cassie's, you know what I'm saying? He chose Cassie instead of, you know, fighting me, you know, and it's just ridiculous, man, you know what I'm saying? I've been trying to fight these, you know, this Arreola, I've been trying to fight him for the longest, but, you know, at this point now, he's so washed up that it wouldn't even be worth my while to fight him anymore, you know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, no disrespect to Cassie, but, you know, you can't even beat, you know, you can't even beat my throwaway, you know what I'm saying? So you're not even in my league, you know what I mean? You just got people behind you that know how to get you in those rankings and get you in the public eye, you know, and portray you to be, you know, a fighter that you're not.
Two more quick questions. How much the fights with Price, Cunningham, even DeWaco, who he's an experienced guy now, who's a crafty guy. Washington has none of those types of guys on his ledger. You've been through it with some quality opposition, especially in the last few years. How much of that is a difference in this fight?
I mean, that's a big difference. Really, after my fight with Steve, you know, I just went to a whole nother level, to be honest with you. After that fight with him, you know, I learned a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? And I learned a lot of things about myself as well, you know, and all good things. In every sense, you know what I'm saying? I just been looking at a lot of things a lot differently and doing a lot of things a lot differently, you know, like simple things too. I'm gonna give you an example. A lot of times, well, every time before my fights, the day of the fight and the night before, I was soaking Epsom salt, real hot water, right? Well, what that does is depletes your body of electrolytes. So you're really draining yourself. You understand what I'm saying? And when I told my doctor about it, he said, I can't believe you've been doing this all that time. He said, you don't do that, you know, 3-4 days before a fight, let alone the day of the fight. You understand what I'm saying? And so I got a lot more energy now, you know what I'm saying, a lot more endurance. And I did that against Steve, and a lot of people think that I gassed or whatever against Steve, but they're not taking into consideration that I threw more punches against Steve Cunningham than Maidana threw against Mayweather. I threw more in 10 rounds than Maidana threw in 12 rounds. Here's a lightweight that's supposed to be a heavy velocity puncher, high volume puncher, and I threw more punches than him in 10 rounds than he did in 12 rounds in both fights against Mayweather, mind you. And so I know that my condition wasn't the question. It was a mental thing. It was losing my composure, not thinking anymore, just going for, you know, swinging for the fences, looking for a knockout. So those are some of the things that, you know, I learned about myself. You know what I mean? I learned that, you know, I could really, really go beyond certain limits that, you know, I didn't know I had. So, I mean, this guy, man, that I'm about to fight, man, he's just really not in my league, man. He's nowhere in my league. His skill set, I don't think that he has the heart to really go down deep down in the dungeon like me. You know what I mean? I don't think that he's prepared to put it all on the line like me. And when I say that, I'm talking about like, you know, you can have visions of death in that ring, man. You know what I'm saying? And saying, yo, I could die right now, and if I don't stop, I'm not gonna stop. You know, and I don't think it's a lot of fighters that'll keep going under those type of circumstances. And if I have to take him there, that's exactly where we're going to go.
Anything you want to say in closing?
No, man, that's it, man. But definitely I want to thank everybody for supporting me. I got a few people flying out there to Washington. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we going out there. We're not accepting no bullshit decisions, none of that shit. We'll tear that motherfucker down if they fucking rob me. I'm not Cassie. I'm not the little humble little kid in the ring. You know what I'm saying? They rob me out there, I'm gonna tear that motherfucker down. But I don't think that this guy is gonna make it 10 rounds with me. So I don't plan on leaving it in the judge's hands anyway.
There you have it, October 13th on FS1, Amir Hardcore Mansour. We will talk to you after the bell.
Booyah!